Hey everybody, welcome back. Got ourselves the first snowfall of the year. Know how to blast out here. So, I'll show you what we got working on today. Got a big old mess. But got the intercooler in, and I started making brackets, but I figure I better film some of this stuff before I get too far along. So I ended up making an oil feed line for the turbo. I can't remember if I put this in the last video or not. I had to pie cut the hell out of that to get it to fit, but that way this will clear the inner fender. But oil supply line comes through, comes up to a T. I put on the oil sending unit spot, and then the return line. This is dash 4, by the way, and then this is dash 10 AN that comes down. That goes into, let's see if I can see with my phone. Where you at? There's a light. So it goes back into the sump right here. So I made some brackets. I'm going to bolt those on real quick, and then we'll show you what's going on from there. So here's how the brackets look. 1/4 inch steel, and then these are the stainless steel brackets that come on the intercooler. So let me get this intercooler up here and tighten these things down and show you guys what it looks like. Alright, there it is, bolted up. So I was going to weld this bolt to the bracket because the structure on the back side, you know, you can't get nothing back there. But I actually need that loose because when I put this on, I have to kind of just place everything together and make sure these are sitting flush on this plate, and then take it off again and tighten up these bolts. So it's nice having that so it moves around. But anyways, it's touching there. This is a pretty thick cast piece, so I'm going to just clearance that. But I even have some rubber up on top of the fan shroud. I don't know if it will focus or not, but you can see a little bit of light there. And then we got clearance right there, and a little bit of clearance there, not much, but I'll still grind down this end cap. So this is where I'm thinking I'm going to put my air filter back in this corner. I'm just trying to get all this pipe mocked up before I cut any holes in the side of the body. And then, as far as this goes, I have some pieces of pipe laying around. I don't know where they're at right this minute, but anyways, they'll come up, and they'll come up right to around here. So I'll be drilling 2 bigger holes in the side of the body for the pipes to come through. And I got some 2-inch grommets off of Amazon, so that'll work out quite nice. But yeah, I'm going to try messing around with some intake piping and get this sucker dialed in. I'll put you guys back on when it's done. That's how far I've gotten so far. I'm going to be calling it quits for the day. One thing I don't really like about these is they got all this flex, so I'm wondering under vacuum if it will collapse. But I was thinking I could get a piece of 2.5-inch pipe, just put a pie in here to strengthen it. But this one has a slight angle to get this 90 to match up with this angle coming down, and a blow-off valve on a T there, and then this 90 I cut down. Then I'll probably have to cut this again, put a piece of short pipe, and then put a 90 on that to connect to here. I don't know how else I'm going to be able to do it besides that way. It's pretty tight, as you guys can see, but I'll put you guys back on when it's done. Here's what I've come up with. I changed my design around a little bit. Went with the straight pipe here. I think that looks a little bit better, and moved the blow-off valve back there. So all these pipes are tightened up. Not too shabby. Plenty of clearance now. This was, excuse me, the blow-off valve was getting close to the pipe back here, so that alleviates that rattling around back there. There's plenty of room for for a tight area. So now I'm going to have to figure out making the pipes going from the air cleaner down to the side and from this to the side. One thing I think I might do, and I'll see as I go along, is I might cut the holes for the pipes to come through and then make a plate that kind of bolts the two pipes to the side. So that way I can weld them at an angle they're going to be straight and they don't have to worry about it rattling around or chafing through the pipe. So this is going to be the pain in the ass, if you ask me. But I'll make it work. So I'm going to get to work on this, and I'll put you guys back on in a minute. Alright, so here's how the air filter is going to be. It's got a pipe going through, a little angled piece. And let's turn on the light here. So this part I'll bend back a little bit. It doesn't hit, but just to be on the safe side, so that goes up. Then right into the side of the body there. I haven't tried jacking up the tire yet. I should probably do that and see if it hits. But I think I'll be alright. I think it's going to be frickin' close, but close counts. Alright, I'll move on to the charge pipe next. Here it is. All the charge pipe and intake piping is done. And I jacked up the tire. Got a finger width and a half, maybe. Plenty of clearance. So I'm going to have to do something with this. I don't know if the grommet will hold the pipe in place enough, but I think what I'm going to do instead of welding a plate to this is just have a tab come off that I weld to the pipe. This is steel back here. And just have a 90 come off and have it screw right to the side of the body here. And that should keep it rigid, because this does have, you know, some play with this rubber. And this was kind of interesting getting this piece in. I had to obviously weld a couple pieces and change the angles around, but in order to get this to not hit the fender, it was really tight. And I also decided to put studs in on the fenders instead of running nuts in and out of it. So some of those threads were getting kind of bunged up, got some broken ones. The other side's even worse. But yeah, it's a very, very tight fit on everything. But I got all the band clamps tightened up. So yeah, I'm very happy with that. It was a total pain, but it's done. So I'm going to tear all this apart. And then next step I think I need to do on this, I don't know which one I'm going to do first, but I need to make a piece of tin or modify the tin for back here. So the motor's going to have to come out. I'm going to pull the fan shroud off. That way it's a little easier to work with. Where the exhaust duct goes down from the oil cooler down here, I need to clearance the body. So that way it's not pressed up against the body so tight. So that I might have to just get another fan shroud that's a piece of junk and just cut this lower section off. So that way I have a place to screw that back piece to, and then be able to mock it up a little bit easier than pulling the engine in and out and tearing the fan shroud on and off. But I need to do that still. And then on the exhaust down here, on all these slip joints, I had put ultra copper in there, and obviously it blew out. And especially with fuel injection, you don't want any air leaks coming in, so I'm going to weld flanges to all these slip joints, and I still need to cut the pipe on this primary tube, bend that down, and get that away from the body because it's too close. So once that fab work's done, then the whole car comes apart again, and all the brackets going to be painted, and engine's going to come apart. We'll see how well everything looks inside. Another thing I did on this engine was I I ended up sandblasting the case. You know, I was as careful as I could. I taped everything off and blah blah blah, but you know how it is. Sand will find its way in. So we'll see how all the bearings look, but I also have a different deck lid to put on and some brackets for that to make. I got good ideas, so we'll put you guys back on for that when it's time. But that's enough for this video. So as usual, thanks for watching, thanks for subbing, and until next time, we'll catch you guys on the flip side.